Well, that went downhill a lot quicker than I expected. Let me explain what's happened. All I wanted to do was get the handbrake on the dash working, and now we've got no handbrake. Here is the handbrake out of the car. Somehow it's gone reverso, so you need to push the button to pull it up and then it goes down by itself. So I don't know how that's happened. But on the other side, the bushing's no good. The reason that I ended up taking it out in the first place was because the switch that makes the light work, I broke it. And what's the only way to get that switch off is the handbrake has to come off. So here it is. Now we have the VK handbrake and the VR handbrake. Now they are pretty close to exactly the same. The only thing that I can see different is the switch plug is a little different, and there may be a little bit of difference here. This one's button stuck in, so I need to free that up, but this one will be going back in the car, not this one, as the handbrake rod here is all bent and this one's nice and straight. So when I figure out how to work out how these levers work, this one can go back in the car, and hopefully with this new switch, because it's just this lever pushing down on this, which makes your light go, if it's like that, your light's on, like that, your handbrake light's off. So I'm going to play around with these and try and get at least one of them working so I can put it back in the car. I think I'm finally starting to make some progress on these handbrakes. Turns out this bushing is way worse than I first thought. It's actually worn out on this side too. And if you look in there, it's actually worn through that washer and it's almost through the hole there. That's how worn out that is, and it's got big slop in there. The VR one, I finally got the handbrake button unstuck. What had happened is you've got these two levers here. When you push the button in, they push these levers here. That's how you are able to, release the handbrake from being on. But once it was free, the button kept getting stuck in, so I thought, what's going on? I took the knob off the end, and lo and behold, we have no spring. That's why the button does not return. So I'm currently trying to take the button off this to get that spring to put in here, and that should make this one work properly. Well, it just keeps getting better and better. If you look at the end of this one and then compare it to the end of this one is broken because it's meant to have a little on top. That's what holds the button in place. Oh boy, how do I get all the good stuff, eh? How do I get all the good stuff? Turns out that rod comes out backwards. So if you flip your two levers all the way up, tilt that back that way, this rod will just come straight out the back of it. So now I can put this rod in here, put the washer in, put the spring in, put the button on the end, and I should be left with a complete working handbrake. Well, it's all back together now. Button works with a spring in it, which is amazing. However, when you pull it up, it's still very hard to release. But I'm putting that down to not being in the car, not having a cable on it, and not wanting to work properly. Because, this bit here isn't activated, all that kind of stuff. So I think test fit it back in the car, connect it back up, and hopefully it works. All right, to put this thing back in, you kind of want to get this bit through the top here to go down in the hole underneath. That was the hardest bit getting out. Probably going to be the hardest bit to go in. So you get that, it's got to go down in between the grooves because the washer doesn't move. You've got to get that rod out of the hole as well. So that's starting to go. Don't open him up too much. Now, the washer's stuck. Squash it with fingers. There we go, that's in. And then that just drops in. And then we line our bolt holes up, bolt it in, we go underneath, put our rubber grommet on, connect the handbrake up, laughing. I'll just get these bolts started. Trying to find the other side is a challenge. Now where's the front of? That one is all the way down there. Where I didn't want it to be, but we can lift him up like that, go through, and they're now started. So we're well on the way to putting it back together. Here, now I need to put that rubber boot back on that there, put the retaining clip on, put the nuts on, and then put that back on, and the handbrake should be done. Finally, I've got the handbrake in and working as it should. So up, down, done. Finally, that is in. I tell you, that has probably been in and out 10 times, along with the original old one going back in, because I thought that this one didn't work, but it turns out the whole mechanism was not meshing together as it was meant to. And in the end, I had it out for the 10th time or whatever it was on the box there. And I was just playing with the levers and I thought, hey, that looks different. So I got a cable tie and cable tied it together, because if you don't cable tie it when you're underneath the car and you pull that threaded rod, the handbrake pops off. I didn't want that happening. So I cable tied that, bolted it all together, cut the cable tie out and put that last bolt in, and it seems to be working. Now, all I have to do is get that bloody light on the dash working. That's how this all started, was that frickin' light on the frickin' dash, because all I wanted to do is say, park brake when the bloody handbrake's on. So I'm gonna get to that now, and hopefully I can show you that it works. Well, I'm back in the car and have a look at this. We'll turn the ignition on and watch what happens when I pull the handbrake up. We get a handbrake light. Handbrake down, light off. That is what I've been trying to achieve for a damn long time. Oh my God, has this been painful. Now, how did I figure out how to make that light work? Well, I wired up my own little thing here with the old switch. I cleaned it up, got it working. And if you pretend this is power on ignition, you put that on, you get the light on, and then if you put what would be the handbrake position down, the light goes off. So that's how I worked out how to work out what I need to do with the wiring in the car. Got that working. It also has become a good globe tester to see where the globes are still working or blown, because I do have this old dash cluster from my VH from a long time ago. So I've tested all the globes that were in that, and half of them worked, half of them didn't. So I've got some spares. that's it for this one. Originally this wasn't meant to be a video, but it turned into something that I didn't expect. So if you're thinking about doing this, I suggest don't, unless you've got a lot of patience. As mentioned before, if you don't have these two levers here in the right place, don't even attempt to put it back in the car, because you'll be taking it straight back out. So they have to be in the right orientation, or you're going to be back and forwards like crazy. But it worked out for the best in the end anyway, because this is well and truly had it, with all the bushings that are worn out, and the switch didn't work to start with, so probably all worked out for the best anyway. But that's all done now. You can get on to other things. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.